All right. Facebook is live. Gonna wait on the tubes here. Looks like we're good. Hey, everybody. It's Jason Blaha here, just sitting here drinking my morning coffee, looking sexy as hell as usual. Wake up with my people. Slept in a little later. I was up a little later than I intended to be. Slept in a little later. So, coffee chat's not start until 6 a.m. I may not be in here a super long time. We won't do 3 or 4 hours because I do want to train this morning. Want to have a good workout. Since I took Friday off from training, but still did conditioning Saturday, we want to get a good, solid workout in. But in the meantime, I got to get a couple posts done so we can do some multitasking. And yeah. So I don't want to spam too much. I want to take a day where I do maybe a little easier on some of the group posting and see if it picks up. Because it's not flowing the way I want it to this month. So give me a minute though. I'm going to get a group post started and hopefully we get people in here. And I fixed the mic thing. It's making me set the mic on the tubes every day. Right? It's going to make me actually set the mic. I don't know what's up with that. Hasn't previously made me do that, but I saw it again today and realized it was set to my webcam, not my desktop mic, and that's definitely a problem. For sound quality, can't be having all that, right? We can't have all that. But hit that like button as soon as you guys get in here. Give me just another minute, and I'm gonna be over chatting with you guys, and hopefully we have people in by then. Right? Right. People looking, there's likes, there's nobody commenting yet. Oh, we got someone on Facebook though. All right, we got Tom Miller over on Facebook. Usually the YouTube is kicking off first. All right. He says, I'm 6'6", 260 pounds, and struggling to add more size naturally. Any suggestions for trying to add some more mass to my legs rather than squat? I have a low back injury. Isolateral leg work, machine leg work. Depends on what equipment you have access to. Have you tried pushing a sled from the UK? Like getting out, pushing a sled can work wonders. I mean, UK's got really good gyms in general. You should be able to find a good strength gym in the UK where you have access to sleds and everything to get those legs up. But failing that, leg presses, hack squat machines. And I would work on seeing if you can resolve the squat issue. You do want to be able to do some squatting if possible, even with the back situation. Because again, just simply having a lower back injury doesn't mean people can't squat. I mean, I know dudes who squat 400 or 500 pounds with herniated discs. They do exist. But that being said, leg presses, hack squats, sleds work wonders. They'll get out and push a sled, brother. Yeah, sled sounds like a shot. I get some decent growth on high rep relative. Um, Decent growth, but I personally get the most leg growth, and you've seen my legs. No, I hate Smith machine squats. In my opinion, are creating knee injuries and other stuff over time. I'm not a fan. Like if you're going to be locked in, go ahead and just do a leg press or a hack squat machine instead of getting locked into that bar. You're going to have freer movement under those others in terms of back positioning and stuff. I'm not a fan of Smith machines at all. I don't like them. But go find a good hack squat machine. But you don't necessarily need high reps. On the squats you can if it's a back issue, right? But generally speaking, there's no reason legs can't grow in 5 to 8 rep range or 5 to 10, just fine. If anything, I usually find I get the best growth in my legs with lower to moderate reps. Just me personally, and that ability for progressive overload. Now we're getting a bunch of likes on YouTube and no comments. Is something wrong with the chat? It might be broke because that's really unusual. Because I'm getting all those likes. There we go. JC Stalker or Scale. I'm sorry. One of my regulars. How you doing? I'm still waking up here, guys. I'm on my first cup of coffee. Morning, bros. Good morning, bros. On my Amazon wish list. Yeah, no one's been doing the wish list lately. My birthday coming up, though, people tend to. But it's clients tends to not be regular people. No, don't worry about the height, man. The funniest, at least with squat, you might have something to it. It's funny when people will mention their height on the deadlift. It's like really the strongest deadlifter in the world is 6'8". Right, half Thor is 6'8", and he's got a pretty good deadlift. I say anything at 500 plus kilogram, it's pretty good for a tall guy, But yeah, all good, brother. Glad to be a help. Glad to be a help. Cool. Means I'm gonna have to tab back and forth this morning between the two. Since we got actually people on Facebook this morning. Facebook's been picking back up. That's what I needed to do. Had fun. We got all people, so appreciate the live stream yesterday. That post is already at hundreds of comments from last night, and it was just a joke post in the middle of my live stream. One of the guys brought up pull-ups versus lat pull-downs, and then I'm going to make a Facebook post, and I typed it right while I was in the middle of the live stream on YouTube. We got 5 likes already. Keep it coming. 6 likes. Very few comments, but the likes are flowing. That's a good sign this early on a Monday. Likes are flowing in. How you doing, Peppermint? Oh, man. How you doing, Peppermint? But I figured out the sound situation. Thoughts on getting a Smith? Oh, good, Coach. Glad to hear it, man. Yep. Take care. Have a good one. Yep. Take care, Tom. Take care, brother. We already had in the Facebook, we already had a conversation, which means that'll trigger that algo more. So we're in a good spot. But yeah, hopefully we'll have a good workout today and get used to the lower carbs, higher healthy fat again. See how it goes. I'm looking forward to training this morning. Having that Friday off from lifting for the first time in a long time, it's like making me eager to get under that barbell this morning. All right. Man, did that pull up versus lat pull down thing create such an interesting dialogue. So a lot of people got offended. Other people agreed, laughed, had fun. That's pretty funny. Yeah. The interesting excuses, though. Interesting excuses by people. I will say, though, rotator cuff is an extremely overused word by recreational lifters. Probably the single most overused word by recreational lifters. I have a rotator cuff injury. My rotator cuff hurts. Like, how have you determined this? Couldn't they just say shoulder? Because how do we know it's one of the 4 rotator cuffs? Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Rob. How you doing? But I do question that. Like, how do they know it's a rotator cuff? And if so, which one? Like, if they're going to do anything about it, they should probably know which rotator cuff it is. There's 4 of them. They're completely different muscles. I mean, I know it's an argument of semantics, but if you're going to name something like that, you should probably know what you're talking about, you know. And how do they know it's the rotator cuff? How do they know it's not their AC joint? How do they know it's not something with some tightness in the subacromial process? How do they know they haven't crushed their glenoid? Like, why does it rotator cuff automatically? Right? You gotta ask these questions. Goes back to your earlier thing about words and communication, right? Be exact in our communication. You know. But if they don't know what they're talking about, you know, doesn't it make sense to just say, my shoulder hurts? Good morning, Ryan. How we doing? How we doing this morning, Ryan? Good, I said you your workout. I keep feeling like I forgot somebody yesterday, and I don't know who. Like, somebody didn't get a workout. I got 2 I got to do today. People finished last night. I got to do them later today. Yeah. Doing good already. Doing good already. Hit my squat. Good stuff, man. Well, no, there was nothing wrong with my mic. It was YouTube. YouTube is now making me select which device I want. It's going, for some reason, it's not using my default. My computer is set to use my Blue Yeti as default, and it never used the webcam. But for some reason, as of yesterday afternoon, YouTube is setting it to the default before I load the chat, before I load the live stream, and I have to select the mic I want. And then I can't change it. All right. So once I go live, it's locked in. You can't change it. It's very strange. So it's just specifically their thing. And they didn't say anything. It's not like we got a memo. They changed any software. You know. But yeah. So it's just a question of which mic. My webcam was mic versus using my desktop mic. But it has all these options now. I have like 4 mics to pick from on there apparently. But apparently I'm gonna have to now add it to another thing I have to remember. Like, they make it so hard. Like, there's so many things I have to check. It takes me 30 seconds to a minute to even set up a live stream. I can't just walk over and hit the button, put in the title, you know, like 15 settings. I wish it would leave things at defaults. Like, I could just have the same defaults every time, right? Like, only allow subscribers to post, you know, show the live chat replay. So those things can't be set permanent. So if I want people to be able to read this stuff after all the comments on the sides, I have to recheck the box for that every single live stream. And if I forget, then that's too bad. So I'll just come, are we live when I come in sometimes, right? Right, we want to make sure. You want to make sure, guys. Good morning. Good morning to you. We still waking up. Speaking of waking up, Coach needs some more coffee. I'm going to refill my cup. All right, we're back. We're back, guys. What do we got going? Right. So what do you guys have on the agenda today? I don't have any topics really other than what you guys want to talk about. Training day. That's what I'm going to be thinking about this whole chat, getting ready to train. But I don't want to talk about it too much because I like to just go in and train. I like to just be in my zone. We don't like to dwell on it a lot. We can overthink our training sometimes, right? Get in your head. It can be a problem. Yeah. Work today, so be in and out. And I think for me, that is the problem of I've got to remember to not overtrain stuff. And I've got to remember to ignore people online who don't know, right? And in other words, like I had a guy yesterday went into a long diatribe, said, "Hey man, I'll give you some advice. I've been training for 10 years. It seems like the way you're training," he like looked at my blog this week, my last vlog, right? Seems like you're training your arms as an afterthought, and that's why they're lagging. Like, you see that? Already somebody's going to chime in. Instead of me going back to training my arms the way I did when they were at their biggest, he's literally telling me to go back and do the stuff that made my arms smaller. Because he feels, watching what I'm doing, that would be the best approach. Based on his 10 years of lifting experience. And he gave me a whole page of advice. So that's the whole point, learning to ignore the peanut gallery is always good. I already know overtraining my arms doesn't work. I've proven it multiple times now to myself that I'm sure of it. And it's hard for me not to. Like, it's hard for me to not want to do 15 sets of curls in a week. Even though I know objectively my arms are at the biggest when I do like one set of curls. Focus on pull-ups, so on and so forth. All right. I was off last week. Good stuff every minute. All right, so it's getting amped up and missing a lift is almost a fate worse than death, right? Right. But even when I was younger and my arms were at their biggest, I didn't do much arm volume. I focused on the big lifts, and any arm work I did was very low volume and to failure. But I mean, it was Dorian Yates type failure. So that might be what I need to do. Do a set of curls, but rest pause one set and then done. Yeah, you don't do any, right? But we do a lot of chin-ups and dips for you, right? So it makes a difference. makes a difference. See, Adich says, what up? What's up, man? How you doing? Right? You know, and no one had problems with these things years ago. I'm just saying. Like you go back historically, it's not like dudes in those other eras who trained different didn't have good arms. Not like they had major lagging, but the really legs lagged the most if we were to compare to today. All right. So yeah, I've got to stay the course with it. And the main thing is I've got to ignore the internet and go with what I know has historically worked. And I know that's the same for me. You know, look at how big my legs get when I train them a certain way. I got to remember to just train my arms the way I train my legs. And I think that was the best advice I ever saw, was a criticism of someone recently that was funny because it was true. And the hilarious part is the criticism they gave was not the advice other people were giving. You know, they really meant like this other guy. They really meant I should just go overtrain my arms again. But their line was, why don't you train your arms the same way you train your legs? Synthol site injections required in pro bodybuilding. It's not even optional. Yes, it has a place. Under the current judging, you can't win without it. That's it. You cannot win in pro bodybuilding without large amounts of site enhancement today. I am not a fan of bodybuilding, by the way. I'm probably not the person to ask. In fact, every time we start talking about bodybuilding, we lose all the views in the live stream. So let's move on. Pro bodybuilding is a death cult. It has no place in the fitness world. Well, you need to remember, exactly, listening to the internet. Oh, man. I ran into some women I've not seen in at least 6 months. Said I got buff. Not a bad problem. There you go, Ryan. There you go. But I took that advice to heart of realizing, again, I should train my arms the way I trained my legs. Because when I did, my arms were way bigger when I was younger. I mean, stop isolating them. Stop doing 15 sets. Stop all that nonsense. Done. Quit all that stuff. Just get really strong. Do a handful of really, really hard sets. And then walk away. All right. Northern, my arms, until I stand up and you see the rest of me and you realize my arms need to be 2 to 3 inches bigger to match the rest of my body. Yeah, because I'm sitting down, or if you see just my arms in a black t-shirt. But I'm not some 180-pound guy. That's the problem. If I was 180, my arms would be monstrous. But I'm not. I'm 210 pounds. So here's the problem. Do you see all this? Or you see the side? All right. I didn't do curls when my arms were at their biggest before. I didn't even train them. And if I did, it was like 2 to 3 sets a week. I still keep it. It makes money, but I don't put content. I sell foot pictures every now and then. It was all the good fun, some of it. I mean, it still has followers and they still buy occasional foot pictures and donations, but no. There's not like anything particularly spicy there. Apparently my feet are a big deal though. Northern, I'm not a bodybuilder, dude. No. I mean, have I, when I was younger, did I sight enhance some of my tests? Yeah. But everybody did. But, in my 20s. But are you talking adding just oil? No. But I'm not a bodybuilder. But every guy on the bodybuilding stage is pumped full of oil. Like they have inches and inches of oil in their arms. Every last one of them. I mean, look at how much oil C-Bum has in his shoulders. It's like Chris Bumstead. Dude's got a pint of oil in each shoulder, easily. And it's blaringly obvious at first glance. And he still won in the Classic. It means you like put a cc of it in your delt or your bicep or whatever. I don't know, my age. Hey, Alpha. Here's the problem with your question. Like, how accurate do I need to be with this? Can I be plus or minus a couple years? Because if you want an exact age, I can't give it to you. Like, it could be a lie because I don't know for sure. It's 20 something. Is that good enough? Over 20 years ago? TRT wasn't a thing. So why would I be diagnosed with low T? People weren't testing for that much. That wasn't a big deal. And why would they be testing like 22-year-olds lifters? Yeah. That was a different world, Alan. Totally different world. The gym bros helped hook you up back then. As soon as you were jacked and strong enough, all the gym bros just like, we're gonna help you out. That's just how the culture was. Hey, come over here. Different era. So I don't know or care. See, can we quit talking about silly pro bodybuilding? It absolutely kills the chat. Like I lose all my viewers and people just kind of fade out and we'll drop down to only 3. You'll be the only person watching. It happens every single time. So can we please move on from pro bodybuilders? Nobody gives a crap about these people other than their weird little worshiping cult. Nobody else cares. We honestly need to quit giving them airtime, man. Like we are ruining the fitness world by taking them seriously. Completely ruins the fitness world. All right. Alan, it's sad how often those in their 20s are getting diagnosed with low T. Tells you a lot about what's happening with the culture. Yeah, I'm with you, coach. It's a death cult. Well, Alan, and there's a lot happening with that. It's they're obese. They have bad diets, substance abuse. So that's what you expect. I mean, if you have a generation of men who sit around smoking pot and getting fat with dietary deficiencies, of course they're going to have low T. Yeah, they're just hardcore drug addicts, right? Yeah. But we need to quit giving them so much airtime, It's kind of funny though, because I did have that post of that pull up versus lat pull down. Well, one of the guys in there. Well, you know what? I've never seen Arnold, Ronnie, or Dorian doing pull ups. There's literally video footage and pictures of all 3 of them doing pull ups. They all did weighted pull ups. Arnold did a lot of body weight pull ups. Like, really? What are you guys talking about? Yeah. So, Stampede, let's move back on. Nobody cares. Ignore these people. They're just glorified drug addicts. That's it. That's extreme drug addicts. And I'm not anti-gear. So when we say that, it's like people don't grasp that either. They don't understand how you could be pro-steroid and call them drug addicts. Well, here's the equivalent. I'm anti-alcohol, but a person could be pro-alcohol and be against extreme abuse. You know, it would be like someone saying, well, I'm pro-alcohol, but I'm against people drinking an entire fifth of Jack Daniels and 2 bottles of wine every day, 7 days a week. Because that would be the equivalent of what bodybuilders do, right? And I mean that is actually not hyperbole. That would be a correct equivalency. What do you think about Ryan Russo allegedly having a psychotic episode after too much lion's mane? He says crystals are giving him divine messages. Cool. So talk to me like I know like what lion's mane is. Is this a code for a drug? Is this like a slang term? Like, what does that mean? Or do you mean literally the guy goes and like eats manes off of lions or smokes lion's mane? I don't know what that means. He says crystals are giving him, okay. Well, I think that sounds crazy. And whoever Ryan Russo is, I don't know who this person is. She sounds like she needs to talk to a therapist. What are your opinion on the late Rich Piana? I got a lot of opinions on Rich Piana that I'm just going to keep to myself at this point. I'm not a Piana fan. So can we move on? I have too much interaction with too many of his exes and other people. I'm just going to move on from that. I don't hold a particularly high opinion, but hey, do as you please, man. Yeah. Right. And please don't ask me again. This is common knowledge. I can't believe people still don't understand what they were looking at with his arms. It was so broadcast back in the day that it was collagen implants all in his arms. It wasn't synthol, it was collagen. Just like the girls get in their butts, they did it all in his arms and shoulders. He had PMMA injections. All right. But let's move over to other stuff. I mean, a dude's using psychedelic drugs. Well, I mean, slapping a mentally retarded person on camera. What do you think? Do you think it's appropriate to take a person who is mentally retarded, and I do mean that in the legal sense, someone who has been declared mentally incompetent by a judge and has to have a guardian because they are mentally retarded? Literally, not a trolling, not a mean term. I am saying legally who they were, of slapping them on camera because something a mentally retarded person said on the internet. What do you think about doing that? You should have been in prison for it. That's assault of a vulnerable individual. And finally, Genova's guardians pulled him off the internet, which they should have done years before. Like, there should be legal consequences to Piana's guardian for allowing him all this internet stuff to happen. They eventually knew it was harming him and pulled him off. That's why he's off. But there should be consequences because you are legally responsible for this handicapped person and you've allowed all this stuff to happen with them. You know. So there needs to be some consequences to the family. But his whole family eventually pulled him off there. You know. And I even had to block Genova because there's nothing worse than being called like 1 a.m. My phone's coming through. It's Jason Genova on the caller ID. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Jason, and I need you to send me $50. I'm like, dude, it's like the third time you've done this to me. Stop. I'm not sending you money. So that's why I used to call him the iron extortionist. And he's telling me that if I don't send him $50, he's going to die of a heart attack and it's going to be my fault. And I'm going to feel really bad about it. Not doing this. I'm back to sleep. And no, I'm not joking. This really legitimately happened. I'm just not doing it, man. We're not doing this. So he used to hit everyone up for money like that. And it was always, he had to have it in cash because his mom doesn't give him access to his bank account. Like he didn't have access to his own bank account. So you got to send it to him in cash so he can buy steroids with it. Ridiculous. But let's not talk about, like, why do people care about him? Like, I'm going to go out on a limb though and say that anyone too familiar with Genova probably should also talk to a therapist. You know, it's not normal to be obsessed with a mentally retarded person on the internet, right? There's a point where a person has to question themselves at that point. You know, what is really happening with you and yourself and your values? You know, just throwing that out there, guys. A little bit of self-reflection. A little bit of self-reflection, guys. You know. Oh, I agree. I don't. Genova was a death. What? No, not really. He was a mentally retarded person with a bunch of autistic followers. I don't know that it was a death cult. Like nobody's dying from all of it. Yeah. He had a lot of mentally ill followers. So you generally know if someone is a big follower that there's something, you know, and I'm not saying, how do I put it? Someone probably has mental health issues if they were a major follower of this. Like it's indicative of someone having mental health issues that they should probably address. Right? They should be addressing that. It should be addressed. They use him to boost a YouTube channel. Right? Hey, Northern, what a really, really weird comment. What sort of competition exactly do you think that I had with a mentally retarded person? And why would you say such a thing? Please explain. I'm going to let you explain yourself. That I had some sort of competition with a mentally retarded person who had a guardian. What exactly, what type of competition are you talking about? If you follow someone, it's extremely likely you relate to that person. Is coffee so healthy when it decreases the absorption of nutrients? I've heard many bad things. Really? I haven't seen a whole lot of bad things about coffee, and I read the literature extensively. Although you do need to look at how you filter the grounds. That's the only concern. Some internet feud. What are you talking about? Let me ask you a question. How are you going to have an internet feud with a mentally retarded person? Please explain this to me. If you mean he threw out older 66s, he did this to everybody. So technically, the entire fitness community feuded with Jason Genova. Well, so that seems so. Basically, every person that he tried to pick a minor fight with would be the entire community, literally everybody. But how are you going to have a feud with a mentally retarded person who can't carry on a normal conversation? There's no feud. What are you talking about? That just seems like a very strange thing to say. I think Northern might not be familiar with that world. Yeah. So in short, since you don't seem to know much about him, he was a mentally retarded person. Okay. He was a mentally retarded person who got up and made call out videos that were essentially Order 66, Jason Bloho, sickening, pissening, Sith Lord, El Spaniard, I love Padme, Anakin Skywalker. That's not a feud. Order 66, Jason Bloho. Okay. This is a mentally retarded person rambling in front of a camera and saying sickening, pissening, Order 66. That's not a feud, dude. We're good. Right? Cool. He did it to everybody. So that was my Genova imitation, and it was quite accurate. I'm just being serious here. Like, I'm not being facetious. That was pretty accurate. It's just, guys, stop. I don't think he meant much. It's all good. Yeah, he probably doesn't know the world. Just can't get it. I don't get it. Next, can we move on from this topic? I am literally bleeding IQ points, even having this discussion. Hey, C, and you should be in jail for watching it. You're a criminal. CC, if you know the existence of such a video and you watched it, you watched a perverted video of a mentally retarded person as a protected individual. You're actually a felon if you have a copy of that. You're a criminal. It is illegal for you to watch that. You're a perverted criminal. And no, I did not know such a video. Wow. All right, next. So I'm about to move on from this. Just wow. I don't know what's wrong with them. Jesus. Let's talk about other stuff before I start banning people. Jesus Christ, guys. Well, you're the one talking about this weird stuff. Good Lord. Like, why would you think it's even appropriate to bring that up? No, I didn't even know this existed. Done. Exactly. The government's like, wow. I just can't. I don't understand how anyone thinks this is an appropriate conversation. All right. Yeah, favorite NFL team. I actually don't watch NFL, but because I have a cousin who coaches for the NFL, they have to be my favorite team. So, all right. So the 49ers would be my favorite team. I've never watched them play a game, but because my first cousin coaches for them, they have to be my favorite team. It's just a family thing. Just like when he coached for the Detroit Lions, they had to be the favorite. Right. Favorite NHL team. I've never seen a hockey game in my life. I couldn't name a single hockey team. Like I don't know the name of any hockey teams. I don't think I've ever met anybody who plays hockey. So I don't know the name of a single hockey team. I couldn't name one. Sorry. Right. But all good, man. If you enjoy it, everyone has a right to enjoy the sports that they enjoy, man. 49ers. All right. I'm going to fake. What do you mean a fake? Fake support them too. There you go. Yeah. I mean, I got to fake support them, You're probably approached all the time. The coaches wanted me. My dad didn't want me to play football. You only do this silly crap. You're just going to get hurt. Is coffee grounds also the powder like coffee? What do you mean? Please explain. Please explain. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Is coffee grounds also the powder? No, coffee grounds are ground up coffee beans. So generally, coffee is made from this thing like a Java bean, right? It's made from a Java bean. And you ground it up into grounds. Okay, and you pass water through it, usually through a filter, and you filter the grounds out. Songs you play on that guitar. Which guitar? You play lots of songs, bro. You play lots of songs, homie. Let me grab the guitar. I am not warmed up this morning. You want to play some guitar? No, I'm not plugging an amp in because the mic in here messes up and it goes squirrely anytime I hit that. I haven't tuned this. All right, play some AC/DC. You don't know about bag puss in the background? That's bag puss. All right. The story of bag puss goes all the way back to 2012 with Ian McCarthy, actually. He's responsible for the whole bag puss fiasco. All right. We played Nazareth. I don't know who Nazareth is. But I need to get some more coffee. All right. Legs looking same in the back. He needs links to back puss. Yep. Yep. Bag puss was originally purchased to troll Ian McCarthy when we were beefing in 2012 for a little bit before we became friends again. We were friends. He convinced me to start YouTube. Then we beefed, and then we became friends again. Then he ruined our friendship. Wait, hold up. Oh, coaching inquiry. Hold on, guys. Just a second, guys. That's a legitimate coaching inquiry. Business first, y'all. Or just oh, cool guy. There's a guitarist who's actually asking about coaching. Cool. Good stuff, guys. All right. You know the song Love Hurts? No, I don't know it. Yep. Hopefully that comes through. I've had a lot of inquiries lately, though. A bunch of people are like, oh, come on, maybe in December. I've had 2 guys say that. Hopefully those come through. No, the musician, dude, what is it with musicians on Team Blaha? I mean, even Ryan's in here. Ryan plays a guitar, plays metal. Got multiple. Some of my vloggers have bands. Like, so many musicians on Team Blaha. Like, we draw guitarists in like crazy. Right? But I just looked over at the guy's profile, and he's right there. His video sitting there playing the guitar. Man, all good though. Could be another musician. Exactly, man. Good stuff. That's good stuff, bros. We need that. Because music is in my soul. You ever meet Dave Palumbo? No, never met Dave Palumbo. What's strange to me is why so many people ask me about bodybuilders, given my circles in history. It's just very interesting why so many people ask me about bodybuilders. Instead of asking me, hey, Jason, have you met? And they'll start listing strength athletes. You guys should be asking me, hey, have you met Eddie Hall? Have you met, so on and so forth. I'm a strength athlete, not a bodybuilder, guys. Like, I'm surprised I don't get those instead. Like, why don't you guys ask me about power lifters? Why don't you ask me about strongman? Because I'm not a bodybuilder. So it's just interesting. I haven't been able to, see all the powerlifting medals, bros. People, yeah, why do they never ask me if I've met John Hack? Why don't they ever ask me if I've met Ed Cohen? Yes, I have met Eddie Hall. Yes, I have met Eddie Hall before. All right. It's like, Ed Cohen, so, it's just funny. All right. No, I haven't met Big Boy. I haven't been out there on the West Coast. People said, what do you say? I haven't been able to lift. I was in a car accident that sidelined me. Unfortunately, my girlfriend doesn't think I should squat so soon after sustaining a concussion. Maybe. What kind of exercise would you recommend when suffering from hip pain on the outer side? I don't know. I can't diagnose your hip pain, unfortunately. Sounds like a whole lot going on. Like, might be something I could help you with in a full consultation to discuss, but those are an hour-long call. And even then, I can't guarantee you I'd be able to help you there. I mean, dealing with pain in a joint is going to be a nuanced, very nuanced conversation. Like, it's just stuff I deal with clients. You know, I wouldn't want to be around guys like Big Boy though. He's a scumbag. Like those guys, all these criminal dudes are a bunch of trash, right? Bunch of gangsters and just trash. I don't really feel like entertaining these personality types. Cali, Muscle, Les Watson, Big Boy. They're all trash. Bunch of gangster trash. I just don't have a lot of use for it. They wouldn't like me, put it that way. But I do. You know, why do we as a society even entertain and uplift that? Why do we entertain and uplift these sort of people? Why don't we just put them in prison? Why don't we take all these criminals and gangsters and just put them in a ditch and line them up in the back of the head and just get rid of them? Why don't we do that? So you wouldn't buy. Why would I need to? If I want a used gun, I can go to Texas Gun Trader and find anything I want right now and just pay cash. Like, why do I need to go to people like this? Do they strike you as the sort of people who even have good guns? Do you even get this vibe? Right? I mean, I've traded and bought and sold dozens and dozens of guns. Like, it's pretty normal part of my adult history. Why do I go? Why would I go to a ghetto trash piece of filth to buy a gun? Why would I do that when I could just buy one from down the street? This doesn't even make sense, dude. Good morning, Callum. How you doing, bro? Do I need to use a program? I mean, you should probably have some idea what you're doing. I mean, what is your option is if you're not running a program per se, even if you wrote it yourself, how are you getting hypertrophy otherwise? Are you just walking in and doing random stuff? I mean, without the presence of some progressive overload or progressive tension, you see what I mean? You may not get the best of results. Your favorite guns. I don't know that I have favorites. Um, I mean, I'm AR platform. I'm an AR pattern guy. Um, I'm no longer a Glock fanboy, even though there's a Glock sitting up there. Since their whole fiasco with the Series V and the politics around it, I'm moving away from Glock. I'm probably going to just stick with Smith and Wessons for striker fires, but I may get back into 1911s. I do have a soft spot for them. Hi, sir. When do you expect to get to 100 million? Are you talking total views? I don't know. What are we at now? I have no idea, man. What's my total views at now? I don't know. I haven't thought about it, Sean. Let me go look. Where are we at? Where are we at as of now? How do I see that again? Wait, hold up. View my channel. They've reorganized this again. Oh, there it goes. We're at 99.5 million views. That's a good question. Maybe in another month or two. We might do it this year. That would be interesting. You're pressing the button and choosing when the ads play. No, they're automatic. Yeah. How am I going to celebrate 100? I didn't even know I was that close. I didn't know I capped 99 million already. Last time I looked, I was at like 80 something million, 90 million. I haven't been watching it, but that's a good thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. How are we going to celebrate 100 million views? That's still a good ways away, though, dude. I got to get another 500,000 views. Keep in mind, this channel is like 13 years old, and this is not my original channel. Well spotted, Sean. Yeah. I don't know, man. I got to make a bunch of shorts. That'll get me the view count up. Right. Can I give you a Texas Roadhouse gift card? Sure, but I may not go for a while. All right. Something I have to plan. Didn't you used to have green? Have you ever seen me with hair? So when I was dating Brittany, she was a color specialist who specialized in fantasy color. Like she charged hundreds of dollars for a hair job. So she had all those professional dyes, and so she did do my beard a couple different times. So she lifted it completely blonde, like bleached all the color out, and then did a couple different colors. She just thought it was fun, and I entertained it. You know, when your girl's knocking the bottom out of it twice a day, green hair. You've never seen me with hair. I can promise you've never seen me with hair. Why would a mullet suit me? I don't think a mullet would suit me even remotely. I don't even know anybody with a mullet. I don't hang out with people like that either. I think you have me confused. Mullets don't suit anybody. What's up, Luke? Luke Moses, how you doing, broski? Oh, hey, Luke, are you the guy the one who messaged me about coaching? I sent you a message back. If that was you, homie, I absolutely have spots open. Absolutely have spots. Yeah, cool, man. Dude, hit me up. I can get you in this week. What's the heaviest you've weighed with a six-pack? I have no idea, man. I don't know that you've ever seen me with a true. How are we defining a six-pack? Do you feel that I have a six-pack right now? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, dude, I got slots open, man. Hit a brother up. I checked over with your profile. You're over there playing the guitar. It's like, oh, we need more musicians on Team Blaha. We're just like stacking in guitarists. Because even Ryan, who comes through here, he's like pretty serious. He does all metal though. He's got a bunch of Jacksons. I got so many guitarists on Team Blaha. It's almost becoming a cliche. When you wake up in the morning fasted, don't you have? I mean, I have visible abs, but I wouldn't say a true six pack right now. Yeah, Luke, I got room, dude. Hit a brother up. I'll get you in this week, man. Get me, if you would, if you saw the stuff, get me the full information on the background, because I need that for the application, and it gives me to start a file. Like I usually start a 1-page file. Cool, awesome, man. So hit me up with it. I'll get you in this week. Would you start a band? And I have a band already. I just don't discuss it a lot. I have a drummer. I know 2 drummers, actually. My circle of friends, we have 2 people who play the drums. That are my home skillets. Problem is, my band never practices. We've only ever played 2 songs, by the way. It's AC/DC Shoot to Thrill, and we've done Paranoid by Black Sabbath, because I can play the solo thing. I'm the only one who can do the solo. My bros. Talking about Team Blaha starting a band, right? What song inspired you to play guitar? Mine was Kiss of Death by Dokken. I don't know what inspired me. I loved music, and I was a big metal fan, and I had a friend who played the guitar. And he's like, I'll teach you. You want to learn to play the guitar? I said, oh, that would be really cool. And I started messing around with it. I wanted to start playing. And so my mom and dad bought me a little cheap $50 guitar, like from a company called Harmony, with a little $20 horrible amp to get started. I was like 12 or 13, maybe 13 years old. I was a big Metallica fan and Slayer fan and everything at that time. And I only did learn metal and hard rock, back then. And then I got into blues and jazz more when I got to high school. I took an honors jazz class. I went in and tried out for honors jazz ensemble. All right. Do you like Taylor Swift? What do you mean? Like, are you asking, do I think she's attractive, or are you asking, do I like her music? I mean, I'm not really a big pop person, but some of her songs are kind of catchy, though. To be fair, some of her stuff is a little catchy. Like, I'll give her that. It can be. And, I don't find her body attractive, though. Like, she's pretty. She's really pretty, but, she's kind of built like a popsicle stick, unfortunately. All right. No, not everyone who uses it. There's a threshold to where when your use goes high enough, you can literally just goof off and be massive. So I've seen examples, like someone who I do consultations with. He got pissed because he's got a great physique. Don't get me wrong. He has a great physique. But his friend, he's like 30 pounds heavier than me and lean. And he told me the guy's drug stack, and he's like, the guy trains like a pussy. He's like, he does nothing but machines, nothing to failure. And he's jacked, and he sent me a picture of his friend, and the dude's like 240 lean. Lean 240. But the guy's but he's like, the guy doesn't even get within 3 or 4 reps of failure on anything. Does nothing but machines and lat pull downs and leg presses, and almost no free weights, doesn't touch a barbell, nothing to failure. But the guy's drug stack was insane. It was like 3.5 grams plus insane amounts of growth hormone and then insulin. So yeah, there's a threshold to where, no, you just don't have to work hard at all. They would be better if they worked hard. Have you ever? I literally was living abroad in the UK when I started this channel, CC. So if I was living abroad in the UK when I started my channel before moving back to Texas, and you have visibly seen all those videos in another country, yes, we have been outside of America. Yeah, the bean poles don't do much. I like some rap. I only like old school rap, though. I don't like any of this new stuff, dude. I like some old Ghetto Boys, old 50 Cent. I like Eminem. I don't like newer rap. Bro, if you're not singing about busting out your nine, though, it's not rap. Like, you're not, nobody's dying in your songs. Nobody cares about it. It's not real rap. It'd be gangster rap, right? I'd be like, my gas screen fire. They told me shoot that motherfucker. He's a liar, right? You gotta have real rap. Gotta be somebody dying in it. Otherwise, I'm not believing it. I'm not feeling it, man. Right? We're not feeling it. All right. Ever been to a non-Western country? No. Nope. Yeah, the bean poles. Yeah, they're definitely not my thing, you know. You deal with more vegan, way more carnivore trolls. I deal with way more carnivore trolls than vegans. I deal with way more hate from carnivores than I do from the vegans, although they're both crazy. Yeah, I agree. But like a woman, I need a little bit of booty. That's all I'm saying. Like a woman, I need some curves on a woman, me personally. I can't do the whole bean pole, you know. Was UK? No, there was none of that. When I was there, no, there was no. So keep in mind, I haven't been in the UK since like 2014. That was the last year. That was 11 years ago. No, you didn't see much of that there at all. Jason, I met a girl from my work. She is from Texas and knew who you were. Oh God, if you're talking with this girl from your work about me, she's gonna think that's weird, homie. You know. So she knew who I was because of YouTube, or did she claim to actually know me in person? Sean would be trying to hit it, trying to share some sugar walls with Coach. Oh man. Oh Lord. Yeah, Sean, I'm sure she totally said all that. Yeah. It's just happened so fast in 2013. We didn't have this wokeness. No, no. It definitely. So when I was in the UK, you didn't have this woke stuff happening at all there. No, not to my memory. I didn't see any of it. This was in the pharmacy. Yeah, Peppermint's in the UK. He's a Brit. He's British. Yeah, you have political correctness. I'm just giving. I'm not even bothered with political correctness anymore. I don't even care. I mean, I'll stop short of racial slurs. I'm not going to say something like that, but I'm just not going to care. Like, I mean, there's limits. I'm not going to be running around dropping N words and stuff. Inappropriate. But barring something like that extreme, I'm not even going to bother with it anymore. I just don't care. It's like I started using the word retard. I don't care. Bunch of retarded people all up in the comments. All right. The UK is a fallen state in prison for social media posts, migration, neoliberal dictatorship. It's an absolute mess of a country. I mean, veganism is dying. I mean, Sean, there's no real war on veganism. Veganism has always been a fringe movement. It always will be. You saw the failure of their little fake meat thing that didn't work out too well. Same, Alex. I say this all the time, right? Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, no, the UK is has these problems. It's unfortunate. You know, it's most unfortunate. Because before that, I would say, the biggest issue was being a police state, pretty much. Maybe the drinking problems. Those were the biggest problems you had. Now, yeah, people being arrested for tweets. Right. I mean, so it is literally a legal term too. Like, people are acting like it's a big deal, but in Texas, we have a government agency called the Mental Health and Mental Retardation Agency. Like, it is an actual government benefits agency, the MHMRA. Like, it is actually a government agency. So it's like, if I can't read out the name of a government agency that helps people and does and funds stuff, then we got a problem. Would vegan gains be bigger? Probably. Probably. Cool. Ryan sent all his training stuff over this morning. Sorry, guys, got a couple clients we got to talk to. And I'll back over to you guys. I got 10 reps with 297 on the SSB. Good stuff, Ryan. Yeah, I just saw your stuff come through. Now that there is no accountability for race, religion, gender, we're all supposed to just pretend everyone can coexist. Yeah. Did you hear that David Cameron has cancer? No, I did not. I don't remember much about David Cameron when I was in England. Every person I used to watch who called themselves vegan now go by either plant-based or entirely away from it. One of the reasons plant-based is because strict veganism is problematic for most people. They run into problems. Plant-based means they can be mostly plants. And I don't have a problem. Eating plant-based can be extremely healthy. It's the complete exclusion of animal products. It's the problem. Like, a person could eat 90% plant-based and have optimal health, right? They could have optimal health. Right. Oh, so always keep that in mind, guys. And a lot of people got bent out of shape about that lat pull down thing. That's hilarious. Facebook flowing good though this morning. We're flowing good. Oh man, I got to remember to get good stuff like that from my followers, because that was was brought up by actually Connor brought that up in the stream yesterday, and I ran over and made a Facebook post. Unpopular opinion. It's just blew up. It's funny. A lot of people think it's hilarious, but man, there are people pissed. There are people angry. There's even people in there calling me a cunt. A woman called me a cunt. Oh man, all sorts of stuff happened in there. I guess I'm gonna wind down the Facebook Live though. I think that's good enough. It's over an hour. I do wonder though if my coffee chat will let me. I'm gonna try it one more time. I wonder if it will let me do a coffee chat on the profile after having done that. It never lets me do it, but I wonder if it will. Maybe if we believe strong enough. Gotta believe that we can do it. Let's try it. Let's give it a try. Does anyone tune into Facebook? Yeah, no, I had a bunch of comments. Some days I'll get hundreds of them, but they still make money. So those Facebook Lives get views after. Sometimes they'll get 1,000 views later, and they'll actually get ad revenue. No, it's not going to let me. I have to pretty much start the profile separate for some reason. It won't let me do them after. Oh well. I won't be doing the jogging lives on YouTube. It takes up a slot. It's not worth the actual slot for the algorithm. I lose money. It costs me money to do them. I will literally make less money for the month on YouTube if I actually do the jogging vlogs. It takes money out of my pocket. So I might do them on Facebook. That might be worth doing when I start jogging again, because I'll pick it back up. But yeah, get that money. I mean, to be fair, Facebook has been pretty lucrative for me over the years. I want it to be there again. Like if it picks back up the way it's starting to, that's a positive sign. Right? It's very positive. You know, and it's getting there. Like yesterday was really good. I made over $40 yesterday on YouTube or on Facebook alone. But that needs to be consistent and it needs to go up. But I used to make a lot more than that. But it made $42 yesterday. No, I don't have any pets. Nope. I got we got swag puss. Felix, so they've made it clear in terms of content that it kicks out a notification for. They will not allow more than 3 pieces of content per day. Anything beyond that is considered spam. So not only does it not send out notifications to people, it starts working against you. As far as it will shadow ban you, kind of like what's happened to me. So I cannot put up more than 3 pieces of content in a 24-hour period there's a notification type content. So normal videos, live stream. So if I waste a slot on the jogging live, I've wasted a slot. But what if it only makes 25 cents? And then I can't do other content because it starts killing my whole outreach, right? Keep in mind, my average video used to get 10,000 views. How come hot girls have ugly boyfriends? Because women value physical attractiveness less than men do. Not saying they don't value it at all. They place it on a lower priority tier. In other words, a guy can be ugly, and if he brings other things to the table, he can win a really good girl. And it's not always even money either, because I know dudes are like, but that guy's not rich. He's okay off, but he's not rich. Why does he have this knockout girlfriend? Because his attitude, what he brings to the table. What do women value most? Security. Women want a man who makes them feel safe. Like if you're looking for the number one thing that turns a woman on, she needs to feel safe with you, safe on multiple levels. This has been studied heavily, by the way. Women value feeling safe with a man. Right? So yet she feels safe with him. Why does she feel safe with him? You need to look at the dynamic closer. Maybe she feels emotionally safe, financially safe. So he might be a good provider who she feels really safe with emotionally. What's the freakiest thing a woman? I mean, see, do we really need to go there, dude? I don't know if you're ready for that conversation. Coach used to be pretty wild when I was younger. I mean, I don't know. What do you consider to be freaky? Right. Some stuff isn't appropriate for the stream. It actually hurts the outreach. You know. Keeping in mind, I've done stuff with, multiple women. I've had an ex who was eating balloon. I don't know what eating balloon not. I don't know what that means. Keep in mind, I had an ex who was buying like other girls a lot. So, there is that. I wouldn't live that lifestyle again, though, honestly. Like, it'll ruin your relationship. So that's the thing I tell guys, man. That stuff will destroy your relationships. In retrospect, it will destroy your relationships. Don't bring other girls into the situation. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Not if you care about that girl or the relationship, particularly if you're married, if you care about your marriage. It will absolutely destroy your marriage. Mm-hmm. I literally Googled what you just said, and there's not even, I can't find anything about it. So you made that term up. It's not even like a thing. Yeah, so never mind. Or you delete whatever you put there. Yeah. Oh, so you're talking about licking booty. That's not the kinkiest stuff I've seen out there. Would you use that Viking? That's actually a Spartan helmet. That's for my 300 costume. Right. That's a pretty common thing these days. This whole generation is into like licking booty for some reason. I don't know why. They're obsessed with it. It's like a thing online. All right, what's the absolute max you could do at a push-up? I bet you I could do at least 10 push-ups now. Not that I care to do a push-up or I'm interested in doing a push-up, but I bet I could do 10 easily. Right? Be like, Coach, you rep out weighted dips with a 45-pound plate. Right. I could rep a 45-pound plate all day long on a weighted dip. So does that count? No, I just think they're kind of a waste of time. Like, why would I bother with a push-up? Like loading is, and I don't do 50 and 100 rep sets, so what's the point? Context, I only weigh 210 and you've watched me do 19 pause reps of 225 on the bench. I mean, Here's your context. So why would we care about push-ups at all? I mean, that's like asking me about air squats. Hey, Jason, how many air squats can you? I don't know, man. You watched me squat 500 pounds with a barbell earlier this year. I wonder what the YouTube plaque is made out of. It's glass. There's aluminum in it, but there's a lot of glass on it, actually. It's got a wooden frame and everything. It's basically like kind of like a mirror almost, if I remember correctly. And yes, it's obviously real because I have a check mark. It came with the check mark. They sent it to me. I got it a week after they gave me the check mark. All right. Can I do an evil laugh for a super chat? "50 clean push-ups would be challenging for you if you don't ever." But why would I care? Like, why would I want to interfere with my training doing that? You know, I have a bad habit of overtraining and it hurts my progress. So I have to watch just doing random junk volume like that because that's all it would be. That would just be adding junk volume. Nobody's winning any medals for doing 50 push-ups. Literally nobody cares. This is not a strength sport thing. People care what you bench. Hell, they care what your max 225 is. That's an NFL combine. So there we go. And so instead of asking people how many push-ups, why don't we ask them what can they do on the combine test? Something actually used in a sports test, right? Well, I'm up to 19 reps. I did 19 reps last week. My GPP is conditioning though, but it's not the same. The push-up is going to literally interfere with my benching. The GPP doesn't. What training advice did you give Santa Claus? He should get under a squat bar. Yeah. So do you even lift weights, man? Alpha, you ask a lot of silly stuff, man. Why don't we talk about the bench press? Why don't we talk about weighted pull-ups? Why don't we talk about deadlifts? Why do you care about push-ups? I mean, come on, bro. Let's get with it. Let's get to serious, real training, man. Nobody cares about their push-ups. And I'm actually doing that because I get annoyed at the push-up thing. He sent a super chat for an evil laugh. Let me try an evil laugh. Whoa. There you go. It's the best I got, man. I'm not really an evil person, so I can't do a particularly evil laugh. Yeah, no, they're not universal. Dude, no one gives a shit about push-ups. Nobody cares, man. I just don't have time for it. And if we care about conditioning, we should care about what's your 5K time, what's your mile time. Right? That's more relevant than push-ups. And it's mainly because the push-up is such an easy thing. I just literally don't care. I'm gonna go do heavy benching. I'm gonna do weighted dips. I'm just not interested. That's on par with me with asking, "Hey, how many air squats can you do?" Like, I don't know. Not something I'm interested in. Maybe the military shouldn't care. Maybe that's a big waste of time. They should do better. They should do better. It's kind of the time tested. Well, that's cool, man. I don't personally care. I'm into lifting. I'm into running. I care about those things. I don't care about a bunch of push-ups. I mean, hey, you're allowed to care about it personally. I just don't. You know. Now, if we're going to start giving out medals for push-ups, then we might have this conversation. Like when this becomes an official sport, okay. Do you watch any NYC calisthenics guys? No, I've never even heard of any NYC calisthenics guys. But that was slick of you, dude. All right. All right, guys, I'm about to wind this down. Wind it down. Work on getting my workout started here in a bit. I'll catch you guys in the vlog today and the afternoon live, and we're out of here.